Alan Eugene Jackson, born on October 17, 1958, is an American singer-songwriter recognized for his distinct neo-traditional country style and songwriting skills. He has produced a total of 16 studio albums, 3 greatest hits albums, 2 Christmas albums, and 2 gospel albums throughout his career. With over 75 million records sold worldwide, including 44 million in the United States alone, Jackson is regarded as one of the most successful music artists of all time. He has placed 66 songs on the Billboard Hot Country Singles and Tracks chart, with 38 of those songs reaching the top 5 and 35 achieving the #1 spot. Additionally, 9 out of 15 titles to reach the Billboard Top Country Albums chart have been certified multi-platinum. Jackson has been the recipient of 2 Grammy Awards, 16 CMA Awards, and 17 ACM Awards, among numerous other accolades. He was inducted into the Grand Ole Opry and the Georgia Music Hall of Fame in 2001, the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2017 by Loretta Lynn, and the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2018. So sit back and relax as we explore the life and music of one of country music's best, Alan Jackson.
Before we begin, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you don't miss a single one of our upcoming videos.
Alan Eugene Jackson was born in Newnan, Georgia to Joseph Eugene Daddy Gene Jackson and Ruth Music Mama Ruth Jackson, who primarily had English ancestry. He grew up in a modest home with 4 older sisters, which was built around his grandfather's old tool shed. His mother lived in the family home until she passed away on January 7, 2017. Jackson began writing music in 1983. During his childhood, Jackson mostly listened to gospel music. It wasn't until a friend introduced him to artists like Gene Watson, John Anderson, and Hank Williams Jr. that he began to appreciate other genres. Jackson attended Elm Street Elementary and Newnan High School before joining the band Dixie Steel after graduation. After moving to Nashville with his wife, Denise, Jackson began his career in the music industry by working in the Nashville Network's mailroom. Denise met Glenn Campbell while working as a flight attendant and asked for advice on behalf of her husband. Campbell gave her his manager's business card, which helped Jackson get started in the industry. He signed with Arista Records and became the first artist to join their newly formed Arista Nashville branch. In 1989, Arista released Jackson's debut single, Blue-Blooded Woman, followed by Here in the Real World, which became his first #1 hit. His second album, Don't Rock the Jukebox, included 4 #1 singles and several top 5 hits. Jackson also co-wrote songs on Randy Travis's album, High Lonesome. A Lot About Livin' and A Little About Love, his third album, produced several #1 hits, including Chattahoochee, which won the 1994 CMA Awards for Single and Song of the Year. His fourth album, Who I Am, contained 4 #1 hits and a cover of Rodney Crowell's Song for the Life. Jackson also co-wrote If I Could Make a Living, which reached #1 for Clay Walker in 1994. In addition to his music career, Jackson made a cameo appearance in the 1996 Home Improvement episode When Harry Kept Dolores, performing Mercury Blues. In October 1995, the Greatest Hits collection was released with 17 hits, 2 new songs, and a previously unreleased song from Here in the Real World. Both new songs, I'll Try and Tall, Tall Trees, became #1 hits. Everything I Love was released in 1996 and contained the hit singles Little Bitty, There Goes, and a cover of Charlie McClain's Who's Cheatin' Who. The album's 5th single, A House with No Curtains, failed to make the top 10, making it Jackson's first release since 1989 to miss the top 10. High Mileage, released in 1998, was led by I'll Go On Loving You, which peaked at #4. The album's only #1 hit was Right on the Money, co-written by Phil Vassar and Charlie Black. In 1999, Jackson took a double risk with the release of Under the Influence, an album of covers of country classics while retaining a traditional sound when a rock and pop-tinged sound dominated country radio. Jackson, along with George Strait, criticized the state of country music in their song Murder on Music Row, sparking a debate in the country music community. After the September 11, 2001 attacks, Jackson released Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning as a tribute to those killed in the attacks. The song became a hit and briefly propelled him into the mainstream spotlight. Jackson released his second Christmas album, Let It Be Christmas, in 2002, and his first gospel music album, Precious Memories, in 2006. Like Red on a Rose, released in 2006, had a different producer and sound, abandoning Jackson's typical neo-traditional country style and instead going for a soft rock adult contemporary sound. Good Time, released in 2008, was a return to his country roots. Jackson's 16th studio album, Freight Train, was released in March 2010. Jackson headlined the 1995 Fruit of the Loom Comfort Tour, which was worth $40 million and consisted of 100 dates starting on January 20th in New Orleans. Alan Jackson's 2004 concert tour, which included over 50 U.S. dates, was sponsored by Napa Auto Parts and featured Martina McBride as the opening act for some shows. In March 2011, he headlined the CMC Rocks the Hunter Music Festival in Australia. Jackson's 25th anniversary Keepin' It Country Tour, which began in 2015 and featured John Party and Brandy Clark as special guests, wrapped up with a solo concert at the Ravinia Pavilion in Highland Park, Illinois on August 31st. In March 2022, Jackson announced his One More for the Road tour, which will be his farewell tour. Now looking at his personal life, on December 15, 1979, Jackson married his high school sweetheart, Denise Jackson, with whom he has 3 daughters, Maddie Denise Seligman, Alexandra Jane Ali, and Danny Grace. Their daughter Ali and her husband Sam Bradshaw welcomed a son, making Jackson and Denise grandparents in December 2022. Although they separated briefly in 1998 due to Jackson's infidelity and the stresses of his career, they have since reconciled. Denise Jackson wrote a best-selling book called It's All About Him, Finding the Love of My Life, which details her life with Jackson, their relationship, and her commitment to Christianity. In 2008, she released a gift book called The Road Home. Jackson's nephew, Adam Wright, is also a country music singer-songwriter, and he co-wrote 2 songs and sang harmony vocals on Jackson's What I Do album. Brandon Moss, a former Major League Baseball player, is Jackson's cousin. In 2009, Jackson listed his 135-acre estate just outside Franklin, Tennessee, for sale, and it sold for $28 million in 2010. He and Denise then purchased a home in the same Nashville suburb, but they listed it for sale less than a year later. Jackson was a good friend of fellow country singer George Jones, who he mentions in several songs and dedicated the song Just Playin' Possum to him. Jones made a surprise appearance at Jackson's CMT Giants ceremony in 2008, where he thanked Jackson for their friendship. Jackson is also friends with George Strait, and the two performed Murder on Music Row together. Jackson performed Jones's classic song, He Stopped Loving Her Today, at Jones's funeral in 2013. In 2021, Jackson announced on The Today Show that he has Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, CMT, which has been affecting him for years and is becoming more apparent on stage. Well, that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Now I would like to hear from you. Tell us in the comment section what is your favorite Alan Jackson song?